in the 6th chapter, the 3rd verse. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I'm doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and come down to thee? Amen. Engaged in a great work. Amen. Amen. These words were uttered by Nehemiah, for whom the book of Nehemiah was named. A crisis obtained in the national life of the nation at this time, for the Assyrians had long since overran the country and subjugated the people of Israel. Many of their thinkers, scholars, many of their businessmen, in fact, the land was raped when it comes to men of any qualification that was a threat to shake off the Assyrian yoke. And listen, Nehemiah was among those who were taken out of the country. Was taken to the courts of the king of Assyria, where he made the best of a bad situation. But Nehemiah, though he was exiled, though he was virtually a prisoner of war in a strange country, his loyalties and his love did not diminish for Israel, his own people. Hence he was making constant inquiries from travelers and tourists from the homeland. Now, on one occasion, one such tourist reported to him that Israel was desolate and the country was laid in waste. Jerusalem, the holy city, had been ransacked by the Assyrians. Her walls had been torn down and her gates had been wrung from the hinges. The watchtowers had been torn down from the wall. And the streets and thoroughfares had been congested with trash and debris. Pools where angels had bathed was now filled in. Jerusalem was in a desolate condition. Loving Israel as he did, Nehemiah's heart became sad. And he went into the presence of the king with down, saddened countenance. Nehemiah had always conducted himself in an affable way, had always been a pleasant person, had always brought sunshine to the heavy heart of the king and his colleagues, but this day he was sad. He had gained this position of influence because of a wonderful personality. He made it easy for folk to be around him. He made it nice. He lifted up the folk who were in his presence. He was not the kind of people who boast about personality errors. No, some people are hard to be around. Some people don't shy anybody. Don't brighten the spirit of anyone. They're just sad to be around. Hard to be around. And some of them go so far as to brag about how poor their personality is. If you are aware of personality faults, don't brag about it. Go about to correct them. Try to be affable. Try to be easy to be around. Make a point to make people happy and like you. Such a man was Nehemiah. King, knowing that he evidently had been distressed by this sad news that he'd heard from the homeland, gave him a leave of absence to go into Jerusalem with his endorsement and get underway there a reconstruction program. The governors in the surrounding and adjacent provinces were called upon to cooperate with him in doing the thing in Jerusalem that needed to be done. Upon his arrival in Jerusalem, he took survey of the situation existing there. And you know, when you got a great task before you that challenge you, when you have a great task before you that requires and calls upon the best you have, first survey it and see what is needed and what is involved and what is called for. Some people run into trouble and fail because they take no note of what they've got to do. They approach it with no degree of organization and consideration and understanding. But Nehemiah surveyed Jerusalem. He knew what it meant and he knew what it took. He knew what it would require. He knew the sacrifice and the self-denial that he'd have to practice. But he was willing. He was willing. A job is not so hard if you're willing to do it. Half of it is done if you're willing. I wish you'd pray with me tonight. I don't believe you're praying. So that there were people around who wanted Jerusalem to remain as it was. They wanted Jerusalem to lay in waste. It was to their advantage for it to remain ruined and desolate. There are some people in town tonight who could help make situations better, but it's to their advantage to leave things as they are and maintain the status quo. There are some folk in this country, if their influence was exerted, could make the country more democratic, could help it to be a better place in which to live, to make America a greater leader in democracy. They know what the ills are. They know what the problems are. They know what ought to be done, but they're not willing to do it. To do nothing is easy. To do nothing is easy. To shun responsibility is easy. To go around as did the priest on the Jericho road, to take the way on the other side is easy. It's easy to do nothing. It's easy to shun responsibility. But Nehemiah was ready to accept the challenge. And he had no ill for those who wanted Jerusalem to remain as it was. Some people don't want new housing conditions and better housing conditions. It's more to their advantage for people, or the people who live in their homes, to live in the slums. They can collect more and pay less. Some folk don't want things improved. I don't believe you're praying with me. There are some people that are not really interested in progress. They don't want it. It's better for them for things to stay as they are. So Sanballat, who was down in Samaria, who was in positions, Sanballat and Tobias, who were in positions of influence down in Samaria, sent word up to Nehemiah. A flattering message. We've heard, they said, as it were, about your royal appointment. But there's no need of you staying around Jerusalem supervising and working as you are doing. You have been appointed by the king. You're a big man now. Don't you hang around the walls and lay brick and fool with the mortar and carry and line up the plumb lines and line up the wall. Ain't no need of you doing all of that. You've been appointed by the king. We'd like to stage a little party for you, celebrating your recent appointment. Come on down in Samaria and let's have a good time. Actually, they were conspiring to sabotage the work. That's right. It wasn't what they thought of the appointment or Nehemiah. But they felt if they could get Nehemiah off the wall, they could stop the work. When Nehemiah received the message, his answer was the text that we have selected. I'm doing a great work, and I can't come down. I'm doing a great work. I wish somebody was praying with me here tonight. I'm doing a great work, but I can't come down. Listen, if you please. The first thing that interests me about this answer is that Nehemiah was loyal to his work. He had longed to help Jerusalem. He had dreamed of helping Jerusalem. He had vowed to give his time and talents toward its reconstruction. And now that the opportunity had come, he was willing to stand by and do whatever was required. He was loyal to his work. In the second place, he had a personal sense of the character of the work in which he was engaged. First he said, I'm doing it. He appreciated his personal contribution to it. There are too many people around who talk about what other folk are doing, what we are doing in our city, what we are doing in our community, what we are doing in our church. Question is, what are you individually doing? For you see, you can cry, you can hide in the crowd. We could not necessarily include you. You are just saying we because you happen to be a member of that church. But I don't want to know what we did. I want to know, what did you do? What was your personal contribution? Nehemiah said, I'm doing. I don't care what Sanballat is doing. I don't care what Tobias is doing. I don't care what the other folk are doing. I know what I am doing. You can get great satisfaction out of knowing that your part of the task is being performed. I'm doing a great work. And then I said he had an appreciation, a sense of appreciation for the type and character of the work in which he was engaged. Some people would do more for the church, would do more for the cause of God, whether it is in the church or whether it is out somewhere else. For God's work does not stop in the church. God's work goes on in the streets. It should go on by the policemen who walk the beat. It should be practiced by the grocermen who sell the food. It should be practiced by the politicians who represent us in the government. God's work ought to be everywhere. And you ought to have a sense of appreciation for what you're doing. So you could say, I'm doing a great work. And I can't come down. You know, Satan is offering a big price for men to come down, for women to come down. He's offering a big price for boys and girls to come down. He took Jesus spiritually to a mountain one day and paraded before him all of the kingdom of the world. Paraded before him the glories thereof, and said to Jesus, I will give you all of this if you just come down. You'll bow down and worship me. I'll give you all of this. So Satan is offering a big price for you to sacrifice your morals, to sacrifice the things that you believe in, to sacrifice your good upbringing. Satan is offering a good price, a big price, an alluring price, a price sometime that ensnare weak-minded people, people who do not appreciate the real worth of what this is all about. But Nehemiah's answer should be your answer tonight. I'm doing a great work. I don't believe you know what I'm talking about. I'm doing a great work. And I can't come down. Lord, why should the work cease while I leave it and come down where you are? Oh Lord, why should I sacrifice my time? Why should I throw away my life? Why should I dissipate all of my energies? I don't believe you know what I mean. Why should I live a reckless and worthless life? Oh Lord, when God's work needs to be done, I just can't come down. Oh Lord, let me close when I tell you tonight, you ought to resolve now to stay on the wall of service, stay on the wall of goodwill, stay on the wall of democracy, stay on the wall of brotherhood, stay on the wall of God. Oh Lord, it may be hard to do sometimes, but stay there anyhow. You may not get many headlines, but stay there. You may not be written up in the paper, but stay there. You may not have a big name, but stay there anyhow. Stay on the wall of the love. Make it up in your mind that you're doing a great work. Whatever people say about you, you're still doing a great work. Whether they like you or not, you're still doing a great work. Oh Lord, and you just can't come down. My Lord, so many times I've had big offers to come down. So many times people have tempted me to come down. So many times Satan has dazzled charming and enchanting things before my eyes. But I told the Lord that I was going to stay on the wall. Yes, I did. I was only a boy when I gave my word. I was only a child, but I made it up in my mind that I was going to stay on the wall. Yes, I did. Oh, Lord, there are a lot of people who are not doing half so much as I am, but who have far more glory, but I know it's fleeting, and it won't last always. Oh, Lord, but when the sun go down, I'll be with my Lord. Oh, is over, I'll still be with my God. Oh Lord, when the newspapers don't carry your headline no longer, I'll still be all right with God. I don't even know what I mean. When the light of glory died away, yes, Lord, I'll still be all right with God. I've started and I'm going through. Yes, I am. I'm starting and I'm going on through. Yes, I am. I'm going through tonight. I wonder, do you know what I mean? Lord, I said I'm going through. Is there anybody else in here who resolved to go through? Yeah. Let the rain pour. Let the clouds roll. Let the lightning blaze Lamborghini. I'm going through. Yes, I am. Let the thunder roll. Let the storm rise. Let the little vessel rock from side to side. But I'm going on through. Yes, I am. I want to live there. I'm going through. I bowed down on bended knees and told the Lord out of a clean heart and out of a young heart that I was going through. I haven't changed my mind. I'm going through. I'm going through. I'm going to stay on the walls. I know it'll be over after a while. It'll be over after a while. Just a few more days. Just a few more burdens to bear. Just a few more times to go through. Get down on me and say, well done. Do you know what I mean? You say, well done. He knows what I'm going through. He knows how my heart aches sometimes. He knows how often I'm misunderstood sometimes.